My stepmom tried to evict me from my childhood home. Ultimately, she ended up being evicted. The sound of a drill grinding into wood was the first thing I heard when I walked into the kitchen, a sharp, mechanical whine that cut through the silence of the house like a scream. It was Sunday morning, February 22nd. My father had been buried less than 24 hours ago. The funeral flowers were still wilting on the dining room table, their scent thick and cloying, mixing with the smell of sawdust and fresh coffee. I stopped in the doorway, clutching my mug, my eyes adjusting to the bright morning light streaming through the bay window. There, standing at the back door with a cordless drill in her hand, was Linda, my stepmother. She wasn't wearing black. She was wearing a bright yellow sundress and a look of grim determination. She was removing the deadbolt. Linda, I asked, my voice raspy from crying the night before. What are you doing? She didn't jump. She didn't look guilty. She turned slowly, the drill still whirring as it spun down, and gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. It was a smile made of teeth and malice. Changing the locks, Michelle, she said, her tone as casual as if she were discussing the weather. Security precaution. Now that it's just me here, I need to be safe. Safe? I stepped into the room. Safe from whom? From unwanted guests, she said, setting the drill down on the counter with a heavy thud. She wiped her hands on a rag and leaned against the granite island, crossing her arms. Which brings me to my point. We need to have a little chat. I felt a cold prickle start at the base of my neck. A chat? Yes, she sighed, inspecting her manicure. Look, Michelle, I know this is hard. Losing your father is tragic, but life goes on, and I need to start my life. My life in my house. She looked up at me, her eyes hard as flint. You have 24 hours to pack your bags and get out, she said. This is my property now. I want you gone by noon tomorrow. The room seemed to tilt. I gripped my mug so hard my knuckles turned white. Your property? I whispered. I am his widow, Linda declared, straightening her spine. I am his next of kin. Everything he had is mine. The house, the car, the accounts. That's how marriage works, sweetie. I know you've been comfortable here, but the free ride is over. I need the space. I'm turning your room into a craft studio. A craft studio, I repeated. My bedroom. The room I grew up in. It has great light, she shrugged. Don't look at me like that. You're 25. You should have moved out years ago. Consider this a push in the right direction. You're kicking me out? I asked, my voice rising. Dad died yesterday. His body isn't even cold. He's dead, Michelle, she snapped. And I'm alive. And I'm the owner. I've already told your aunts that you're refusing to leave, so don't try to go crying to them. They know you're difficult. She picked up the new deadbolt package from the counter. Shiny brass. Secure. I'm finishing this lock, she said. If your key works tomorrow afternoon, I'll be very surprised. And if you're still here, I'll call the sheriff. I'm sure they can explain trespassing laws to you. I stared at her. I looked at the drill. I looked at the house I had lived in since I was born. The house my mother bought before she died of cancer when I was 10. Linda thought she had one. She thought she held all the cards because she had a marriage certificate and a drill. She forgot one thing. She forgot to read. Okay, I said. My voice was suddenly calm. Too calm. Linda blinked. Okay, I'm going to my room, I said. To pack. Good girl, she smirked. Take the sheets off the bed. I don't want to wash them. I turned and walked out of the kitchen. I walked down the hallway, past the photos of my dad, past the photos of Linda, past the empty space where my mother's photo used to be before Linda took it down to update the decor. I walked into my bedroom and closed the door. I didn't reach for a suitcase. I reached for my safe. I spun the dial. Click, click, click. The heavy door swung open. Inside, nestled between my birth certificate and my passport, was a thick, cream-colored envelope. I pulled it out. The deed. What I am about to place on that kitchen table isn't just a piece of paper. It is a legal landmine that has been buried in the county clerk's office for 15 years. By the time I finish explaining property law to her, Linda isn't going to be worried about a craft room. She's going to be worried about a fraud investigation. Kindly follow on-screen instructions for full video.